Greetings, viewer. I am Tatsumari, and welcome to the 40 subscriber special. Today, I am joined by Sakura10594,
Oh, hi.
Xiriun,
Right here.
Anime Lupup,
Kumusta?
and Rainbow Girl 17.
Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. Also, hello there.
Why you do that?
So as you can see, this is the kind of fun we're going to have today. And today we are also reading by suggestion Empress Theresa by Norman Boutin. We'll be doing a rotation of reading from person to person, and really we're just here to have fun. After which, Anime Lupup will be directing a critique of the story. No one knows what kind of voice they'll be doing, so it all should be fun, and all the bloopers will be here. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. First up for the whole reading, we have Lupup.
Name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, have mercy.
Oh, no. See, you're supposed to do it in Spanish. En nombre de tu padre.
My Spanish is not that good. I can survive at work, but not that well.
Alright, Lupup, take it away.
I'm Teresa, the younger daughter of Edward and Elizabeth Sullivan. And I hope it's not bragging to say, I was cute as heck at age 10.
Oh my god, this is killing me already. I need helium.
Everybody in the family said so. I was the princess in the Sullivan clan of Framingham, Massachusetts. Because besides being cute, I was a whiz in school and had a good disposition. All the relatives expected great things from me. Nobody could have dreamed of what I would do a few years later. And nobody would have believed it if they'd been told. Prime Minister Blair said I'd still be remembered in a million years. Did you catch that? Churchill, Hitler, and Lincoln will be footnotes in dusty history books 1,000 years from now, and nobody remembers Charles Martel, who saved Christianity in Europe by winning the Battle of Tours 1,300 years ago to set up the world as we know it today.
Oh my goodness, this is so long.
But Prime Minister Blair said I'd be remembered for a million years. Mr. Blair is not inclined to exaggerating. I was the last person you would expect to earn that accolade. I was a nobody from nowhere. When this story began, I was a little girl who didn't have much of a clue about anything. My job as a kid was to figure out what the heck was going on and what to do about it. It's not easy when you're young and everything is brand new. Oh my god.
Oh dear
Alrighty.
Lord.
Oh my god.
Alrighty, Rainbow. Let's see if you can top that.
Hard.
Okay. My father once served a tour in the Navy. He said I had to be the captain of my ship, but sometimes the seas would be rough. I had to learn all I could about the world. I wondered why I should be worrying about it in the 4th grade. I'd soon find out. We're lost in this confusing world unless we follow the directions of its maker. I did. It's the only thing that got me through this hellscape we call 2020.
Thank you.
Everyone has pressures. There's 2 kinds. One is threats to your life and family and well-being, and health. I had more than my share of that with 1,000 assassins waiting to get me for evading tax fraud. The other kind is bearing responsibility for other people's lives and welfare. That's really tough if you care about them, which I don't. I set new world records in that department. People were sure I'd crack under the pressure, but I didn't. It will take smarter heads than mine to figure out why not. It won't be that hard.
Yeah, because there's nothing up there.
There's nothing.
Empty.
Alright, Sakura. Let us have it.
I'll be telling my own story, which is a good thing because nobody knows it as well as me. The drawback is there are some things I can't know because I wasn't there. For example, Prime Minister Blair and President Stinson mentioned they talked to each other on the phone. They must have talked with many other heads of state, and it would be interesting to know what was said. It's a sure bet they discussed how to eliminate me if I got out of control, but I can't know any of that. It can be frustrating not knowing these things. But remember, you'll learn things in the same sequence I did. Somebody else telling my story can only say what I did in the world. They couldn't get in my head like you will. You will see what a horrible worldwide mess I had to deal with. My story began quietly with no hint of what was coming. I was home with my 17-year-old sister, Catherine, who was old enough to be my babysitter. At least she wasn't old enough to be my mom. She made it possible for my mom to go back to her part-time job without leaving me alone. Catherine hadn't been in wisdom school like me, and she was thinking of going to one of many trade schools around Boston after high school. Mom and Dad said I should go to college.
Goodness.
Alrighty. Oops. Before going on, I have to mention that an odd incident happened 6 months before I was born. Mom was raking leaves in the backyard when she noticed a fox sitting on its haunches 10 feet away. It was staring at her like, oh my god, it was just staring at her. A metal rake is a good weapon against a creature as small as a fox, and Mom held her ground. After 5 minutes, the fox walked away. This strange event seemed unimportant. My parents forgot about it for 18 years. Okay, now we can begin my story. Our house was next to a pond close to the river where all the neighborhood's kids spent many happy hours looking for turtles and frogs. Like, ew. I was lounging on the deck reading a book on school summer I was lounging on the deck reading a book on the school summer list. Oh my god, this is just like so hard to deal with. Catherine was inside reading a magazine. That dirty. Taking a momentary break from the book, I noticed a red fox walking along the pond's edge. It disappeared behind the little patch of woods which my dad let grow wild like some of the neighbors. Oh, like most of the neighbors. So the neighbors are wild or the woods are wild? It's so confusing. This was very rare. Red foxes were never seen in broad daylight during the summer months. It didn't happen. Then something really amazing happened. Like, oh my god, you just cannot. It came out of the woods and walked towards me. I kept still and waited to see how close it would came before noticing me. It was 60 feet away. 40. 20. By now it was clear it was looking at moi. I considered running into the house, but curiosity won out. The fox reached the 4 steps of the deck, came up the steps, stopped, and sat on its haunches staring at me. It did not seem vicious. So I waited.
How is it possible that you could do a better Valley Girl voice than an actual girl?
Because I live a good distance away from the Valley Girls.
Oh man.
All right,
Still close enough
Xiriun.
to visit if you wanted to.
Alright.
All right, Xiriun, lay it on me.
In an instant, faster than you could blink an eye, a softball-sized white ball emerged from the fox and went straight into my stomach. I screamed and ran into the house to get away from the creature, and thankfully it ran away. I set the glass deck door closed and locked it, just in time to see the fox disappear into the woods. "What did you scream for?" asked Catherine, who'd walked into the kitchen. "There was a fox out there." "Don't worry, he won't hurt you," she said, and went back to the living room. I stood at the glass door for 5 minutes, watching for anything else that might happen. At last, I thought it was all over. I went into the living room to sit down and think. What was that white thing? I couldn't come up with a theory. It was nothing like I'd ever seen on those television nature programs on the TV. Perhaps it was a daydream from not eating enough. Mom had warned me about that. At the age of 10, I was already conscious of my weight and tried to stay skinny. Maybe I should eat something. I went into the kitchen to prepare an early lunch of fried eggs, a strip of bacon, toast, and milk. I gobbled it down in a couple of minutes, and soon I felt better. It was a little eating after all. Nothing had really happened. I had imagined that.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sweet mercy. How am I going to follow that?
Oh,
Speak from the heart.
lay it on us, Lou Pup.
What heart?
No, it.
Whatever's in there.
Satisfied, I walked back into the living room to find something else to do. I turned on the television and watched the late morning talk shows for a while. I heard fire trucks in the distance, blaring their deep-toned sirens. These trucks could be heard from a mile away. They were moving closer and closer. Soon the sound made it obvious they were in the vicinity of our street. My intuition told me this had something to do with the white thing that jumped at me. That sounds so wrong.
Okay. That should get there. We're going straight into hentai there.
Oh, this isn't the worst bit.
Please no.
I'll save I'll save that trivia for later.
Oh no.
I went out the front door and waited on the lawn. The sirens were very close, and yes, there they were, turning into the street. A tanker truck and a small ladder truck. The two vehicles went halfway down the street and stopped. Already people were coming out of houses to watch the excitement because they're nosy bitches. The yellow fire engines had loud speakers that sent out vocal messages loud enough to rattle windows. What the fuck? A conversation was going on between the firemen and the station. What do you have? 115 degrees here, a fireman shouted. It's 70 here. Yup, we have something.
Okay.
There's more. Damn it. A crowd of neighbors was gathering near the confused firemen. I walked over to join the onlookers. What's going on? I asked one of my girlfriends. They're looking for a fire. The girl's father said, the temperature jumped in a few minutes. Somebody called the fire department.
Now,
Okay.
it was hot. It was nice a little while ago. I thought it over. A fox appears in daylight, which never happens. Comes up practically to my feet. The white thing jumps into me, oh lord, and the firemen look for a fire that don't exist. All this happened within an hour. There had to be a connection. Before long, the fire chief arrived in his yellow sedan, all that rusty thing. He asked the lead fireman if anything had been found. Then they walked over someone's property, looked the pond. There was nothing there, of course. Could it be a ground fire? The fireman asked the chief. Not likely with the water over there unless there's a rock ledge underneath. We have to check it out. Thermistor probes were brought from the station, whatever the heck those are, and firemen spent the rest of the morning pushing the probes a few inches into the ground to check the temperature. That stuff's all boring, so I didn't really pay attention much, but they did this on everyone's lawn, the area inside the turnaround at the end of the street, and finally went into people's backyards. They found nothing but corpses.
Made this so much better, honestly.
Around 1 o'clock, the temperature in our neighborhood had dropped back down to 80 degrees. The fireman gave up and left, which I wish I could have too, but my house was here, so... I was young and inexperienced, but I wasn't a dumbbell. Oh, whatever that means. If people found out what happened today, they'd pester me about it forever, gosh darn. My cousin Mary Sue was diagnosed as schizophrenic, and the whole Sullivan clan was biting their nails waiting for the gene to show up in some other family member. If it wasn't going to be me, no. I resolved to never tell anybody. Not even my parents would know. They'd think I was ill like Cousin Mary. I didn't need it. I didn't need anyone else knowing.
Was a bit that pressed a berserk button. I'm going to try and contain my rage.
How was my southern drawl?
Bring it on, dear little darling.
It's on now.
All right. Sagana, I believe you're up next.
Yep. 2 days later, I woke up early and walked into the living room. Mom was looking intently out the window. What's going on? I asked. There's some parked men down next to the turnaround. They've been there all night. I looked, and sure enough, a fan of Ford sedan that were parked in a Ford sedan.
In a Ford sedan. Hey, that's a new make of car. We've got ourselves a Ford sedan, people.
A 4-door sedan. We're parked into the. That grandma's going to annoy me. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, we'll warp into this after we survive this.
We're parked in the turnaround where they can see every house in the street. Mrs. Gannon said the police cars stopped to talk to them at 2 a.m., said Mom. They showed IDs, and a little later the police left. Dad woke up and heard the same story. As Mom and Dad got ready for work, another police car came around and left around the street, but left without stopping. Other people left for work. The morning wore on. The mail truck came in by 10. I walked out to get the mail where Catherine was in her room. I wish I got a package. 2 minutes after I got back in the house, the car and van drove away. They had spotted me. How did they know about me? I sat on the sofa thinking for a while. I felt like I was being watched. Or was somebody listening? Or maybe I'm thinking too full of myself. I spotted the phone. Was somebody listening on the phone? I dialed 0 for operator. Operator, how may I help you? Can I have the number for Alice Pizza in Framingham? One moment, please.
Alrighty.
Alice's
see.
Pizzeria.
10 seconds later, another woman said, Alice Pizza, 555-8420. No, that's a 02. Sorry. Thanks. I hung up, so they weren't listening. The weekend arrived, and Mom and the Papa and I went to Boston to shop in the Washington Street shopping district. We drove down to the Boston Commons underground parking garage. I thought I saw some car come right behind us in the park close to our car. Yes, and the dome is the bad. We got to the surface and the man followed us. Oh my goodness, and this is not good. We went to the Barnes and Noble store first because if we bought something, it would be small and easy to carry the rest of the day. Mamma mia. I looked through the books in the sale and I thought I saw a different man watching me. Well, yeah, if you be in the obvious, people are gonna watch you. You stupid son of a bitch. Barnes and Noble had 2 floors. I'm going upstairs, Mama, I said.
Okay, now I want to go to Barnes & Noble.
How dare this woman desecrate the name of Barnes and Noble? That is my store.
This is where the author wishes he could sell the books.
Yeah.
Second only to secondhand bookstores.
The author wishes to be sponsored by Barnes and Noble Senpai.
I think even Audible would have been a nice break.
Definitely.
We're being too kind to him now that I think about it.
Oh, it's a him that wrote this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that makes it so much worse.
But it's starting to make sense now, right?
Oh, yep.
Later, we went to... there was an escalator to the second floor. I went to the mall shop, stopping now and then pretending to look at the books. At the same man from downstairs, always seeming to be closer to me. He was spying on me, mamma mia. Later, we went to the McDonald's and I wanted a spaghetti. And I spotted another man who walked behind us to the restaurant. He was there as long as we were. And after we looked back, and he was coming out too. But he stopped at the corner. Another man standing on the corner started walking in our direction. We got back home, and the mom took the things to my bedroom. I dialed the operator again. Operator, how may I help you? Can you give me the number for Alice Pizza in the Farmingham? One moment, please. Xiriun.
I'm up again?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. I waited and waited and waited, and a full minute passed by, and she hadn't even come in with the number yet. Can you believe that? I hung up the phone. Now they knew that I knew. When I was young, I had some feeble ideas about what this all meant. My life wasn't going to be like that of the other kids. I had to think like somebody important, somebody with responsibilities. I was something special. Maybe I was dangerous. Or maybe that's the government was thinking. Someday, they'd come around and talk to me. I wasn't stupid enough to think they'd just walk for the rest of my life, you dig? 2 days later, Mom took me to a nearby strip mall. There was one of those DVD movie rental stores. I looked around for the classic movie, that 2001, A Space Odyssey. They showed it on television a couple months ago. I played and replayed the parts of that movie where the astronauts talked to Hal. The most chilling scene was when the astronaut Dave Bowman left a spaceship in a pod to retrieve the body of his dead astronaut partner driving through space. Can you believe that shit? When he flew back to the spaceship, He said one of Hollywood's most famous lines. Open the five bay doors, Hal. But the spaceship computer, Hal, wouldn't open that door. It was a creepy scene. The summer days rolled by. I saw the watches follow me everywhere. Mom did most of her grocery shopping on Saturday. And I usually went with her because Catherine wanted to wander off with her friends. While Mom was talking to the meat clerk, I went down to the breakfast cereal aisle to choose something. Hey, Teresa! Some woman I didn't know was standing next to me. She looked to be early 20s and had a friendly smile.
Stranger danger!
Stranger danger.
All right.
Now-
So how's everybody's sanity so far?
Oh, I'm
I
having
can
fun.
tell that this man really likes this movie if he went into great detail about it.
Funny
So,
enough, the
Point
Space
of
Odyssey,
working, I
you
kind of
know?
learned to tune it out.
I have a feeling this man is at least in his 30s by the looks
Older.
of this. Oh god.
I'm thinking older. I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet that.
Oh, that makes it worse.
But you want to know what's the thing that actually stood out to me?
What?
A DVD movie rental store. This was
Yeah.
written in like 2014, 2016. Actually written in 2014 and had multiple editions.
Yeah,
Gotta be older than
s-
that.
he mentions Barnes and Noble, but he doesn't say it's like a family video or whatever. Cause there's still family videos around. Like, there's one in my neck of the woods, even though it's closing, but it's still there.
I shouldn't overthink this because this is gonna kill me one way or
Okay.
another. And I just realized we're not even halfway through.
This is the first chapter.
Chapters of this thing are there?
I don't know, but I didn't want to try to find out.
Do you want to know how many pages? I can give you
Enlighten me,
that.
yes.
400.
Wait,
Oh
what?
no. No.
I think that speaks for itself, Tatsu.
Yeah.
I think we can cut it here
All right.
for everyone's
So-
sake.
So, for the sake of sanity, here's where we'll stop reading. And here's where we'll begin rip-roaring into it. Loop up, care to take the lead?
Where to begin? Where to begin? Well, I suppose that introduction already would be a good start. Was anyone getting my Immortal vibes from that?
I can honestly say I have never read My
Well-
Immortal. I know the
Oh,
scandal
God.
around it.
This has the same atmosphere.
It's the same energy.
It's same.
But, okay.
I've also never read it, but I've heard the history on it, and it's a whirlwind.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I know
spelling
nothing.
mistakes though, which it's more fun when the spelling mistakes and you read them as they're written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. No, I don't know if I can give credit to Norman or to his Word document for that. Probably his Word document. Now that I think about it.
Probably kind of a, well, I don't know. It might be kind of a 50-50 thing,
Hmm.
but Word will probably be catching most of them.
But then again, I have also heard of another self-published story that the author did not use autocorrect or anything like that. Oh, that was a disaster. And I am not naming the title because that is a book that needs to burn.
Oh, okay. So,
Wait,
in any
wait.
case,
Wait a
Go ahead.
sec. Is the story that we're reading, is it a published book?
Self-publish.
Oh my. I thought it was
Excellent.
I thought it was a fanfic.
No, it's a
Ugh.
self-publish.
Oh no.
It's a self-published novel on Amazon.
Goody.
uh,
Anyway,
people wonder why
continue.
it's so hard. People wonder why it's so hard to get a good reputation with self-publishing these days.
Mm-hmm.
See. Okay. I'm scrolling up. My mouse is jumping everywhere. I think even my computer does not want to process any more of this. Because it jumped from page 1 to page 10.
Ouch.
It's done. I think this computer is done with my bullshit. Okay, so I think, like, aside from monstrous run-ons, it's not as rough as I expected it. But then again, we're only scratching the surface of this enormous iceberg. and I am not kidding. I am not exaggerating. The reason why I recommended this was because one man, one man, as far as I know, made the valiant effort to read through this entire monstrosity and do a 5-part book review on it, and each part was 2 hours long.
Oh, that poor man.
So
I think you know what? I have actually probably come across that guy.
when she was when Teresa was I'm gagging at her name. When Teresa decided to compare herself to historical figures, was I the only one who was put off at the mention of Hitler?
Mm,
It's like,
yeah, it's a
My
Give
brain
a-
didn't process it, but I'm kind of tired, so that might be why.
count
yeah,
yourself lucky then.
yeah, because it almost kind of like he did like a comparison there, Churchill and Hitler, and then Lincoln, and you would have thought it would have been someone else who would opposed Lincoln, but nope.
Eh.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Like it could have been
That's
anyone.
oh god.
Yeah.
Anyone but Hitler, but no, you decided to choose the most infamous asshole in history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, considering how the rest of the novel pans out, that's actually a fair comparison still.
Hmm.
Let's
Okay,
see
so
here.
does anyone else have any thoughts on it? Anyone else?
You know, mine, I could deal with the story. It's just all the grammar, and you heard my one part, and that might just be because I was copy editor for our college magazine, but I'm like, it's supposed to be was, not were! It's annoying me so bad, and I don't know why. This usually doesn't happen. Why? Okay, I think that's all I have.
All right.
Let's see. Anyone else?
I'm just very concerned about the fox thing. Like, I know mythology, and I have a feeling I know what happened there, and I am very concerned about not only her well-being, but the well-being of the world as it is, because I have a sneaking suspicion that that is the soul of a fox going into her body.
Oh, that would have been again. That probably would have been a better development than what actually panned out.
Oh, come on.
It turns out to be like this alien thing, like this alien that Norman conjured up, and
Oh, good.
is very contradictory in many ways. Like, and let's just say deeper into the story. The way Therese describes him is you leave that conversation even more confused than you were before. If you thought you didn't think that was possible.
Xiriun, any thoughts?
Lot of drugs. Lot of drugs.
Honestly,
I see.
sometimes I wonder, like,
I
some of the
see.
people I watch on YouTube who are writers themselves, they always say they sit down with a glass of wine or a fifth of bourbon or something like that before they get writing. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
seriously, is this like what some other people come up with when they're drunk?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was on a few, alright?
Wine.
I see, like that's part of the things that I don't understand is people who are like, oh yeah, I'll have a glass of wine and it helps me loosen up. It's like if I have a glass of wine, if I drink anything. By the way, I don't drink, period. But if I had anything, it's usually a glass of water or a soda, and even then, sometimes I get kind of
Wired.
just not tired, and I can't think straight.
I mean, I could understand, like, having, like, a cup or a glass to, like, soothe nerves and, like, help writing better, like, give you a more clear head. But let's leave it at that, and don't go any further.
I've had a few drinks myself. You're not missing much.
And, I am still underage, so I cannot
Mhm.
partake of drink, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I'm not really that interested. The idea is meh.
If there's any more trivia, if there's any more trivia you guys want me to like throw out there, I can recall some of the things I've heard about this story.
Okay, if you want to pad this out a little bit further, go for it.
Okay. Two lines, or rather, one line sticks out to me, and one particular scene also stands out. The first line is when Teresa
Oh.
gets married. Teresa gets
Oh
married.
dear.
Yes, I know she gets married. Um, to the blandest piece of bread you could possibly find.
I've had some pretty bland bread, so
You would be surprised. you like even air is tastier than him.
okay.
Um, and and Norman, the way he describes the wedding scene, it was glossed over. Like you'd think he would have built it up or something, but no, he doesn't. And the line that stuck out to me the most was when he was describing Teresa's wedding dress. Um, let me see. He mentions that she changed into a different kind of dress at the reception, where, and I quote, her shoulders and cleavage charmed the crowd.
Hmm.
Ooh,
I'm gonna go
shoulder.
get my gun.
Wow.
And guess how old she is?
16.
Well,
14.
I don't want to
She-
guess.
She just turned 18.
Okay, well that's
Oh,
better than I expected.
Yeah, it's still better,
Norman,
but
my
still,
dude, why?
still,
he probably saw some of those, raunchy wedding dresses around there, and he's like, "Ooh, I like that.
Or
I'm
he
putting that in
went
the
out of his
story."
way to look up wedding dresses, and he just found one of the more raunchy ones. He's like, "Oh yes, I'll use that one."
and then the second scene, I think this happened maybe a chapter after the wedding. Teresa gets kidnapped, is shuffled around to be killed, and guess how she dies, or how she's supposed to die.
Wood chipper.
Oh, if only. Keep guessing. I'll let if you want.
Hmm.
Strangling.
I would have appreciated that. No, she dies by atom bomb.
Hmm.
Atom bomb.
Wow.
Yeah, and somehow she escapes that. Guess how?
Going Super
Her little-
Saiyan.
Oh, again, it would have been a remarkable improvement, but no. After she has flown like maybe 50,000 plus miles into the air with a plane on autopilot, and the bomb about to uh, set it off, she jumps out the plane using soda bottles as like little floaties and does a hard belly flop into the Atlantic Ocean.
Dang.
Hmm. Just
I'm pretty
the
sure.
physics alone of that is just making my brain hurt.
Yeah, you'd have several broken bones if you were to survive, and you'd quickly drown.
I think you'd be turned into like the human equivalent of a strawberry pancake.
She does die in that moment. Unfortunately, that does not mark the end of the story.
What happens?
That alien ball inside her helped her survive, I guess, something like that.
It's
And-
like the game over screen from Undertale, like do 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 do, and there's the voice that's saying, "You can't give up yet," and it just brings you back to life.
Almost sounds
Honestly,
like
I was thinking more of Grand Theft Auto's death screen. Just belly flop into the water, wasted. But yeah, if you thought the physics on that was horrible, oh, it gets worse. It gets 10 times worse.
I actually want to read more of this.
No, you don't. I will tell you guys the YouTuber's channel, so that way you can watch his reviews and spare yourself that agony.
The link, by the way, for the viewers out there, the link will be in the description below of both the story and of the reviewer if you wish to torture yourself as such.
Highly recommend the YouTuber because he makes it so much more palpable. I actually listen to his stuff when I have downtime at work, and as of late, I've had a lot of downtime. But yeah, that's all I can go off on for now.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have
We've done
This-
something.
We have something. So, as I said before, the link to the story will be in the description below if you wish to read the whole thing in its entirety. You have been warned. That being said, if you want to see more content about everything we're doing, we have Arcane and Maple Story the Novel episodes coming up soon. So be sure to stick around and be sure to click the subscribe button of everybody here. Links to their YouTubes or various social medias will be in the description below as well. So until next time, my friends.